Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I will explain you the concept of Azure Logic App through a demo. Azure Logic Apps help you to design your workflow by integrating a group of services in Azure portal. Basically, it will help you to orchestrate and automate your business process. Let me quickly talk about my business requirements and their corresponding terminologies in Azure Logic App. Assume that this is the sample JSON that is derived from the web app application transactions that made on that particular day. And this JSON file, I need to store it in the Azure Blob storage. This step 1 and 2, it is going to be outside my Logic App requirements, but still I will show you on how to create Blob and store JSON within the Blob. Let me talk about my requirements to develop Azure Logic App workflow. Okay, so number one requirement is to pull JSON file from Blob is my first requirement in the list. While listing my requirements, I will also design my workflow accordingly so it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, and then I need to pass JSON file. Okay, once you download from your Blob, you need to parse it. Okay, and third requirement is to check conditions and insert data into MySQL. I need to explain little bit in detail. I'm going to install MySQL and create database with two tables called Chennai and Hyderabad. If my orderCity equals Chennai, then that particular transaction will be stored in that table. In this case, it's going to be Chennai, so it will store into the Chennai table. And same applicable to Hyderabad, which means when my orderCity equal to Hyderabad for this order number 103, this particular transaction will store into Hyderabad table. Let me go over my step 4 and 5, requirement 4 and 5. So basically the requirement 4 and 5 is all about generating an HTML and send that HTML as email. Okay, let us assume that I have two different shipping teams, Chennai and Hyderabad team. If the transaction belongs to Chennai, all those transactions will be generated as a HTML file and that will be sent to Chennai team. And same thing, we need to do that for the Hyderabad team as well. So far we talked about the requirements and the workflow design, but we haven't talked about the terminologies in the Azure Logic App. Okay, so always remember that your number one step in your workflow design is going to be the triggers, and the remaining steps can be the combination of actions or trigger, but in my demo it's going to be the actions. The group of triggers and actions are called workflow. Okay, the workflow can be created with the help of Logic App Designer. So I will show that Logic App Designer and I will show you how to create a workflow using the Logic App Designer in a moment. Every actions include input and output, something like this. So the advantage of Azure Logic App is that you can use output of one action as input to the next actions, something like this. And you can also have an empty input and output like what I'm highlighting here now. Here I'm using something like Azure Blob, and then I'm using MySQL, and in order to send email I will be using outlook.com. Those things are called Blob in the Azure Logic App. Okay, every services what you use to perform an action is called connectors. Okay, so in the first requirement I need to run this job on a daily basis. So for that you need to use recurrent service connector to perform that action, and then you need to get JSON from Blob. For that you need to use a Blob service as a connector, and then I need to read the data in the JSON file. For that you need to use a data connector. Within the data connector there is a multiple options. In that, within that you need to select Parse JSON to read your JSON file, And then you can also have within one action, you can have multiple action like this, where you can filter based on the city, and then you can insert. Okay, and then I need to send in order for me to send an email, I need to filter and create HTML table. This is also part of your data. And finally, I'll be using outlook.com in order for me to send an email. This is how exactly will look like when you design your workflow in Azure Logic App, which I will show you in a moment. Let me share the checklist what is needed to perform this demo. So here I'm going to use my existing resource group, and then you need to have your storage account. Once your storage account is created, you need to create your blob container, and then you need to store your JSON in that blob container. And as a third step, you need to install your MySQL. Once your installation of MySQL is complete, you need to create database and tables in that MySQL. And finally, you need to create Azure Logic App resource where you will be designing your workflow. Let me quickly take you into the demo. Okay, I'm going to create a storage account. Okay, go and click and then click create. So I'm going to, this has to be unique. So I'm going to try with this name, STG7Ls. And I'm going to use locally redundant storage, review, create. Okay, I'm going to pause this video for a moment. Okay, your storage account is created. Go and click here, and then you need to go and create a blob service. So click here, blob, click that, and click a container. Here you can give something like same thing you can give, and give like a demo. At the end you can give something called blob. Okay, and then give create. Okay, I'm going to pause this video for a moment. Okay, I see it is already created. Okay, click this and then click upload. So basically now I need to upload the JSON file. The JSON file, this is a JSON file which I'm going to upload. This is a JSON file which I will be uploading into the blob. Okay, let me do that. Okay, upload. Okay, if you, in case in the future, if you wanted to edit or something, you can very well edit over here. Okay, you see here, if you, in case you want to add a record or delete some record, you can even modify from here. So going back to the checklist, we use the existing resource group, and then we have created the storage account, we have created the blob container, and then we uploaded the JSON file in that blob. So let us go and do the remaining steps. Okay, now I'm going to create a MySQL database. Go and click this create a resource and look for MySQL. Okay, I'm going to select this and then go and create. Click this flexible server, and then here I'm going to use my existing resource group. Here server name, let me give some unique name. Demo logic app. Okay, I'm going to use same as US. Since this is going to be a development for our hobby, so I'm going to use that. And then I need to give my username. Username is going to be IM7else and password. Okay. Okay, I think I'm pretty much done with everything. Click create. You create. It will take some time. So for now, I'm going to select create server without firewall rules. I'll be appending the firewall, After once it is created, click this. Okay, this will take little bit longer. I'm going to pause this video. Okay, your installation of MySQL is completed. So going to resource, if you see here, the server name is this one, which I will be using it in my Logic App Designer, and the username is someone else. Okay, so as part of the prerequisite, you also need to create your database and the table. Okay, you can do this table in multiple ways. Either you can go to your CLI and then create, but now I'm going to use through the portal. So click database here, click the database, and then you can create a database by clicking this add button. So all these are all already like come as part of the system database, so don't worry on that. I'm going to create a new database called orderDB. Save. So let me pass this. Okay, I think it's already get created. No, it's still getting created. I'm going to pause this video. Okay, your database is created. So now what I'm going to do, go to database, click again, go to your overview, and then you can do this through connect. Okay, before creating a table, you need to do certain things in the firewall. Remember when we created, we have disabled the firewall and created. Now I'm going to do few configuration. Okay, make it as a public. Make sure since it's a demo, right? I will be deleting it anyway. For now, I'm going to give allow public access, and then I'm going to click all these things. Okay, so basically I'm allowing to access my Azure Logic App application to connect to this database. That is what I'm trying to do here. Go and click save. So you can also verify your test connection by doing the telnet command. Let me show you that. Telnet, and you need to give the server name. Let me find out the server name. Shift insert, and 3306 is a port number. Okay, that means I could connect from my local machine to my MySQL. Okay, in the cloud. That means the connectivity is working fine. Okay, let me go ahead and create a table. So go and click overview, and then click connect. So I'm going to create a table for the database that I've created. Okay, so I need to give the password that I gave at the time of creating the MySQL database. Okay, I'm going to type that password. Okay, so show databases. Okay, if you see, orderDB is the one which I have created. So use orderDB. Okay, so now I need to create a table. Okay, for that I'm going to use the table. Okay, you're going to use this command, which I already copied. Okay, which I already have it in my notepad. I will give all this command in the GitHub repository as a readmes. Then I'm going to create another table called Hyderabad. Okay, so now what we have done, we have created the database called orderDB, and then I have created the two tables called Chennai and Hyderabad. Okay, show tables. Okay, so now I think pretty much we have done all the configuration what is needed for the MySQL database. Going back to the presentation. Okay, so we have created the database and created the tables that is needed for our workflow design, and then I gave a required permission what is needed for me to access this database from my Azure Logic App. Okay, now finally we have the last step, which is going to be a Logic App resource creation. Let me go and create that. Okay, let me open a new tab for to create because I will be using some transaction in the later point of the video. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new tab to create Azure Logic App resource. Duplicate tab. Okay, create resource. Type for Logic App. Click this. Create. I'm going to use the existing resource group, and this logic name I'm going to create demo logic app 7 else. It has to be a unique name, and then I'm going to use consumption, okay, not the standard. Okay, and then I'm going to select my region as West US. Okay, I'm creating a minimal requirement for my demo. Review and create. Create. I'm going to pause this video. It might take a few minutes. Okay, the logic app is created. Okay, let us go and create our workflow design. So for that, you need to you have to click this logic app designer. This logic app designer will help you to create your workflow. Click this. And for the very first time, you'll get all this something like where you can learn how to do and everything. Let me go and click blank logic app. And I'm going to schedule it. So what basically I'm going to do it, I'm going to pull that JSON file from the blob. So for that I need to schedule it, right? So I click this schedule, and then I'm going to do recurrence. So let's assume that I need to do on a daily basis. The transaction is complete on a batch. I need to run it on a daily basis. So for that I'm going to make it as on a day, and then make the interval as 1. Okay, so that is our first trigger. As I told you, always your first activity is always a trigger. Okay, so now you have scheduled this workflow to run on a daily basis. So basically you need to download your JSON file from the blob. Okay, that is going to be your next step. So click new step, click Azure Blob Storage, and then find out the one where it is relevant to get blob content. This is the appropriate one. Go and select that. And then if you want to create a new connection for the first time, then you have to click. Since in my case I have already done some connection, you see I already have some few things already configured. But if you are doing it for the first time, you need to click this change connection, and then I will do add new blob logic. It can be any name. I can give it like that. Click access key. This access key you need to retrieve from the storage account. Let me show you where it is located. So go here. This is my storage account, and in the storage account you have something called access keys. Click that access key, back, paste this, and then I need to give my storage account name, which is stg 7 else. Okay, give create. Okay, now go and select the one newly created stg 7 else. That is your storage name. And then once you give your storage name, it will show you where is your JSON file is located. This is a folder where I have my JSON file. Click that, and this is my JSON file. Okay, so make it no. Okay, save it. And now what I need to do now, I need to pass this JSON. Now I downloaded the copy that JSON file, but I need to pass that JSON as per my requirement. Click new. So go and select the data operations, and then do pass JSON. The content is going to be your file content, not the file content. So you can click the expressions I have the expression, what expression to give. So this is your expression. I will, don't worry about these variables, and I'll put it in my readme document. Give OK. And then in order to find the schema, all you need to do is copy the content of your JSON file. So just copy this, click use sample payload and give here, and done. So if you see, the schema will automatically get created. That's it. Okay, give save. So now what is the next step is that you need to check the condition. You need to check the condition in the JSON file. Basically what I need to do, based on the city, I need to filter and then store it into the MySQL. That is what I need to do. Okay, click new step, and you need to use controls. Okay, so the control is a connector that you need to use to do the condition. Okay, click condition. Okay, so what I need to do basically here, I need to use, remember I told you that this is a output of this going to be an input for this. Okay, that is what I'm going to use here. Okay, so I'm going to say that the whatever the Parse JSON output, that body is going to be my input. Okay, so and then I'm going to choose a value, orderCity, and condition is equal to, if it is value is chennai on small case, then I need to execute true statement. Okay, here I need to have another action. So click add action, and then here select Azure Database for MySQL, and here you basically need to do a insert row statement. Click that insert row. So here you need to select the database what you have created. If you see, I have captured some of the information what I have. Okay, so this is my MySQL database server name, and this is my username, and database is orderDB, and tables are Chennai and Hyderabad. Okay, so this is something what I use for before my demo, so ignore that. You need to basically create a new connection, same like what we did for Blob. I'm going to create a new connection here, so add new. When you do for the first time, this is the step what you need to follow. Database insert. Okay, and give basic authentication, and this is my server name. Copy that, and database name is Oracle DB, sorry, user DB, also order DB. I am someone else, password. Okay, create. If everything is good, it will if it's something the credential or if your server name is not correct, then it will prompt for error. So in this case everything is good, so go and click the new one. So I have selected that, and database name is orderDB. Here it will list all the table what I have created. So here I'm going to use Chennai. Okay, same thing you need to do if you wanted to do for Hyderabad. Okay, the operations, everything, the step is same for the demo, and for the interest of time I'm just going to do only for the Chennai table. Okay, so here what you need to do, I'm going to use if you go and click this automatically on the right hand side, it will tell you what input what output are you going to use as your input. So I'm going to use Parse JSON input, right? So click that Parse JSON input. I'm going to, for the order number, I'm going to select order number. For the order city, I'm going to select order city. For the product item, I'm going to use product item. Okay, fine. So go and save it. So if you wanted to test your connection, everything is good, you can still do it by running the run trigger. Okay, so So let me go and quickly validate, okay, whether the workflow what we have created so far is correct or not. For that, you need to do, okay, before that, I told you, right, I've created the two tables. Select start from Chennai. Everything is empty. I'm going to run it for the first time. Run. Okay, everything is successful. You can verify your output by clicking this and go and find out what is your output. Same thing you can do. Let me go and check if the data is inserted or not. So it is not inserted. Let me see what went wrong. Basically, if you see, this condition itself is not met. Here it's green, but this is still like not executed. So here expression result condition did not meet. Let us see what went wrong. Okay, I think I found the reason. If I see here, I put the smaller case, but in my JSON file, it's case sensitive. Everything is uppercase. So yeah, so let me change it in the designer. So what I'm going to do, I change it to C and save it. Let me go and rerun it. So it is always good to check your workflow instead of like after creating a 10 or 15 workflow. If you don't know where is the problem, it's better to run your workflow then and there itself. Okay, so let me see if it is going through good at this time. Okay, even the condition is met. I can see its rows are inserted. So let me confirm that. Going back, select. Okay, so if you see here, I just have only the data where your order city equal to Chennai. That means your workflow is working good. Okay, let me go and follow the remaining actions that we have in our requirement. So now we know that we could insert into the data. Let me go and clear this one because I have the SQL statement as unique. Okay, going back to my designer, so I'm going to create a new step which is going to filter that array. Data filter array. I'm going to use Parse JSON body. I'm going to make as fast as I can is equal to chennai, and then give next step. Operations Parse JSON. Basically here now I'm going to create a HTML and then I need to send an email. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do here. So use a body here. Okay, I'm going to in order for me to generate a schema, I can always do this. Then and it will generate a schema and give save. Let me create another one to create HTML. That is also a data operations. Create HTML. So I'm going to use that body from the JSON too. And then that's it. Okay, finally the HTML whatever I generated from here, I'm going to send an email. So click new. Like outlook.com and send an email. So I'm going to use my ID. im.savanils@gmail.com. Subject Chennai shipping. So I'm going to use the output of the previous HTML. So I told you, right, you can use the output of any of your action can be the input here. So I'm going to use create HTML output here. output. Okay, so if you want, you can add something like a Chennai shipping team, please use the below order number to pick up and ship it to ship it to warehouse. Okay, that's it. Okay, give save. Let us verify this one quickly. Run trigger, run. So this is my Outlook. Yeah, I got an email. Chennai shipping team, please use a below order number to pick and ship it to the warehouse. That means our logic app workflow is designed well, and it's also working good. Okay, if you right now we did a email sent for the Chennai. If you want to do for Hyderabad, you need to repeat this step from here all the way to send an email. Okay, if you like this video, please like it and subscribe it. Thank you.